got a lot of stuff to get to this week, so we're not going to do the normal intro thingy. So let's get right into the video. Roll that footage. How you doing, everybody? My name is Brandon Dudechair Craven, and as always, this is the Rolling Wrestling Review Show here on YouTube, and these are my top 5 favorite moments from Monday Night Raw. This time it's for February, and I almost said 2. It is for February 25th, 2019. So without further ado, let's get right into the top 5. My number 5 for this week has to go to Dean Ambrose versus Drew McIntyre. This was a really, really good match, but it had a really crappy ending that I didn't really, I agreed with it because Dean is supposedly on his way out of the company. But again, I didn't really agree with him losing again and again. I mean, at least let him go out on a high note or something. So that's just my opinion, but I see why they keep making him lose. My number 4 this week, the NXT guys on the main roster again this week. Now, what I mean by NXT guys are like Aleister Black, Ricochet, Johnny Gargano, Tommaso Ciampa. I know Tommaso and Gargano are going to be, I think they're going to be on SmackDown again tomorrow night. But Ricochet and Aleister Black are on Raw right now, which is cool. But it also kind of takes away from the guys you called up before where they're not really getting a spot yet. So that's kind of a gripe I have, but you know, it is what it is. And it's great to see these guys on Raw and SmackDown where they should be. My number 3 this week is Ronda Rousey walking out of Raw as an ultimatum for re-signing Becky Lynch to the main event of WrestleMania and potentially making this a triple threat match. I mean, who didn't see this coming? You'd be pretty much blind if you didn't see this coming a mile away. They were originally wanting to make this a triple threat match between Ronda, Becky, and Charlotte. And that looks like that's what they're going to do. It would surprise me if they didn't. It would surprise me if they went back to the original Becky versus Charlotte, or Becky versus Ronda, rather. It would surprise me if they went back to that. So it looks like we're getting a triple threat match at WrestleMania's main event for the women's title on Raw, Becky, Charlotte, and Ronda. So it's going to be a good match. Don't get me wrong. It'll be a really, really good match. But everybody saw this coming. So, way to be original. My number 2 this week, and this was a really hard choice for me this week because they had a lot of really good number 1 segments coming up for me this week. But my number 2 this week has to go to Ric Flair's birthday party. And I'll tell you why. Well, I'll get more into it in my pros and cons because there was a con in there that I didn't really like. But the one thing that got me was that it was really cool to see guys like Sting, Ricky Steamboat, Shawn Michaels. It was really good to see all those guys. And that's what really made it really cool for me. Because I was a fan of Sting growing up, and Sting was one of my all-time favorite wrestlers. People who know me know this. It's not a secret. Shawn Michaels was too. But it's just really cool to see those guys come back and pay homage to Ric Flair in a way. So that was really cool to see. And my number 1 pick for this week has to go, of course, to Roman Reigns' return. And it wasn't really a return to the ring, rather. It was more of, this was a check-in, but still that pop he got when he came out and started going around the ring and all that was amazing. And then the pop he got when he said that he was in remission from his leukemia, the roof could have blown off the place. That's how loud it was. It's so good to see that, to see him in remission again from that. And I know people are going to say, oh, he filmed the movie while he was out. He doesn't really have cancer. He filmed the movie. You can't come back from 4 months of cancer and all this, blah, 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 blah. I don't think WWE would stoop that low. I really, really don't. Not in this day and age when they've got people like Connor Cure and Susan G. Komen and all these other things that they've got with cancer foundations backing them up. They would not do a storyline about cancer like that. Think about it. This was covered by everybody. USA Today, the Forbes.com, or Forbes. I think Sports Illustrated covered it at one point. He's going to be on Good Morning America tomorrow morning. You wouldn't fake something like that. You really wouldn't. I mean, you just wouldn't. Of course, not in my book. I mean, they've done worse, but still not in this day and age. I don't think so. But anyways, let's look at some of my honorable mentions for this week. My honorable mention for this week has to go to Finn Balor versus Leo Rush. It was a good match, good storytelling. Not great, though. It was not a great match, and they need to treat all of their champions better. I'm going to talk about this in just a second in my pros and cons, so let's go ahead and jump right on into that. My pro for this week has got to go to Roman Reigns' return again. It was great. The reaction to it was great. The setup for it was great, and I loved how they opened the show with that. You know, they didn't have it foreshadow Ric Flair's thing. And I'm excited to see where it goes. But my problem with it is don't rush it. When you have cancer like that, you don't need to come back from it quick. You don't need to try to push yourself quick. I'm not a medical expert by any means of the imagination whatsoever. But with any sickness, you don't need to rush yourself to get back into shape and try to get back in the ring, try to get back to doing physical activity, things like that. You just need to take your time and focus on getting better. That's the point. So don't rush it. You know, there's no need to rush getting Roman Reigns back in the ring and getting him to competing again. Just let him get better first. So that's my biggest complaint with it. But it was great nonetheless. My con for this week is the fact that their champions, like the Revival and Finn Balor, have almost become like second-class citizens at this point. What I mean by that is Aleister Black and Ricochet beat the Revival this week, and the Revival has taken a lot of losses in the last few weeks too. Ever since they've become champions, they've taken a lot of losses. If you want to build your champions up, put them in matches that have some legitimacy. Like put them in matches that are like actual tag teams, like Bobby Roode and Chad Gable. The Wasteland guys, Connor and Victor. I don't remember the names. I'm sorry. It's been a while. You know, just guys who were okay, like Zack Ryder and Kurt Hawkins. They haven't been a tag team long, but they've been tag team champions in the past. Put them in matches with them. Let them fight them. You know, things like that. Don't put them as fodder for these NXT guys. And that's not a knock on NXT. I love that they're on that they're on the main roster getting their dues. I love it. But just don't sacrifice your champions in the process. Same thing with Finn Balor. He's been in kind of a rivalry with Leo Rush, and I don't dislike Leo Rush. I think he's a great competitor, but he's not as legitimate as, you know, guys like Drew McIntyre, guys like Dolph Ziggler, who should be on, you know, Raw again. I don't know where he's been. I don't know if he's hurt. I don't know. Guys like that. So just give your champions some legitimacy and just build them up instead of knocking them down and keeping them second class. But guys, that is going to do it for my Raw Top 5 this week. Let me know in the comments what your top 5 moments would be. Let me know of some of your reactions to this week's Raw. And also, do not forget to like, share, subscribe to this channel, and let your friends know, because we got some big things coming up in the next few weeks, guys. I promise you, we got some big things coming up. And I'm not going to spoil it. Not going to spoil it. Much as I want to, I'm not. But we got some cool things coming up, you know, that has to do with this channel. So be on the lookout for that. Do not forget, tomorrow night is my top 5 moments from SmackDown Live. And also, and it may be out Wednesday. I haven't really decided yet. So until next time, guys, my name is Brandon Dudechair Craven. God bless you. I'm out of here, and I'm down for the 3 count. 1, 2, 3. See you next time, everybody. Later.